various representatives on the representative party, on the ticket of the party going into the 2024 elections in Parliament. And the process in my culture is one of the ways a DP democratic process. Yama mamfo Kenya. You're right, and I think and no, and an anka nipa share ni musa processes no the corner fine yahu say yanso no your pride yahu say democracy and your practice ya ba ya nim no is something you're very proud of, but processes very often you do say it's tainted with whole lot of corrupt practices a hinder the kind of way you achieve, because so has in the broad day a man for chair bicycles, a man for chair TV, a man for chair fencing whole lot of items, cash, and then as for in a broad day you capture be in video, some on camera, whole lot cost in a broad day. So the election grounds more or less like a bazaar of corruption where you trade vote for cash, you trade vote for a whole lot of items. In the past, you see say not a seat in the dark. People a year under the cover of darkness. Person will be credible behu na campese ubia kanwasem, but that particular corrupt practices assuming certain normal CBR. You think it's appropriate, it's right, and say person will go into any leadership position, and all you have to do is to come delegate, find money for them. It doesn't matter where you got the money from. And obenya opportunity to be in political position be a preoccupation to be able to amass wealth to the extent say do also percent of stand for position be obenya enough money to bribe people. So recently Liberty state be a surface here, and one of the MPP aspirant and all kasa ono there wa physical good demo in dollars, and he's ready. So obi aware na dwin so be bribe delegate bia no he or no ye ready to bribe people in double. The obeye bia no he will go to Parliament. Issues way issues are in any serious democratic country sabi or minor air try say you be neighbor corruption in the bad, no such issues you be picking up investigate append puma sibre na say was see a punish you be ya punish the panama sabi or more tension the Australians say no corruption and your friends politics na and yeah, corruption super sabi o na mabonto koto banku ana obesa gusu na wudidi na mom and shishaye and emra eda ho, but okan ya wafa ne ho di, and you go into this elections he clearly vindicated the fact say you move more kase your political landscape has been excessively monetized to the extent to say wouldn't forget about it. So at the end of the day, people with good intention, people are said more ideas, people are ready with good heart to serve their people, through this monetization scheme I introduced into the various political parties, yet I bet disincentive for these guys to get into politics. So at the end of the day, people who get access into power and individuals and they bought their way to power. Just imagine, obi a person or the MP now are buying away a kobobosia and as some benevolent donors who eventually come back for their money. A money seeker to bribe their way. Now Obabedi MP. How would you expect that person would come back and have that community at heart? And over the years, that has been the trend, and we are not worried. Delegate free say through elections now a year, cocoa season, because democratic and a process na ye it is about individual and personal gains but the collective gain of society and no consequences ni implication on generation yet unborn yamfa ye di immediate gratification ye diama ye satisfy so politics more or less like your friend is saying a man for a masturbate, just do it for the immediate gratification. What happens in the future you don't care. That is the culture creeping in, and then you monetize politics. There are more few people or more free so more sikanti So nipa with that intention be to me you should expect own kind of plans in him because okokro to me wato am what yaka amano. So the open order here. So that is why very often you see that kind of attitude from some of our elected representatives. or two, or they are bad for no money we are, or free say he's not accountable to anybody. Because to me, don't forget what Tom. It's more or less a semi shop, semi iPhone. Me run me to we are. Let me try iPhone run a career. Phone me primary because I have paid for it. Me pa me twatwene. Me pa me the best zoom. Me pa phone ya noa, but me pa me the best just one noa. Because I have bought it, I have paid it, it's my property. So that is the same scenario it play out for individuals. Yeah, the political power more. Ye tuyaka. Ye tuyaka their man. And you shouldn't expect that the person will have your interest at heart. Because maybe your coffee sika or the yes, I then wouldn't ebinum kwa bobusia, ebinum kwa ji ebinum sika, and oba. The focus and say, oh yes, I dare not to pay those people off. And to amass another money of a source and twaso na odia kumbiana or this can go to bribe delegate again. So I know the day a cycle and they're running on ya koba. The actors on the stage are benefiting, they are gaining, but majority of the people continue to live in poverty. That is why from 1990 till date you come to the realization that there is no single data out there. Actually, how many people are or multiple moving from poverty to your friends to wealth, and I nipa sebi yetime yebo ofri ahokyere na obrim. That data we don't have it. Even the number of people mo ye adwuma ne nasefo no kwa we don't have any accurate data depending on who is speaking or ba na yabetutu aguwa, and there is no way to verify. So democratic process na ya adopted say ebetimi aboa ye ma ye nya bibia free no. Others are benefiting, but we are not benefiting. That is what I'm saying. Say, if you sit somewhere and blame, say democracy is the issue, you are getting the whole argument wrong. Democracy, has stand the test of time. In the Western world, the economic progress sustaining the same progress for a very long time. And it is a form of government be we are very assured, say me amount that kind of your friends saying economic transformation now not sustaining the same. You go for democracy. But I say, we have adopted a convenient form of democracy. They serve your interest, and the other critical aspects now impose responsibilities on us to ensure that we do the right thing in order to harness the gains that are coming with democracy. That aspect we've forgotten about it. It is about serving ourselves. Akwese wako buffet na yede inwia ne si ho wo serve wo dia nti unya obi oye abro wo ne tima odia na o me a na wakoba taso no de nsa akọ ne minim na wakofe agu na wasen aba fele odia okwa o de nsa akọ ne minim na wakofe na wasen aba biem that but ni party gate na chi e comedy omo do mbedi kro munya, but these people are in there doing this kind of nasty stuff. And you and I, and you hold the key to change these things. You see, democracy, the only avenue, am I to hold people accountable, and the emra de kwakotwaba. That is why I keep telling people, say oko now will vote, money panel, not based on personal gains into genaso at the twaba mobia. And you were daching, and you won't call daching a waton were daching a ton, money woman daching. And whatever the person comes in to do, over the years, that is what we've been doing. In this civilized world, you go into elections and you see people on social media platforms, TV, and Rami who back on our northern region. The video not circulating on various social media platforms. Somebody in government, a kotomoto, abegu haobe chama delegate, as agro. Some of the media men went to the grounds and they saw say, Nipa no mbeto abano, or mobano mato petro egu galo mua, or they are election grounds ho. Almost a moto abano many panu we are no majo moto, no more the petrol no gum, no the coffee. So they are comfortable, they are good with that. So at the end of the day, ask yourself, say, Nipa na wo all nyasika kwan of us wo nyasika na the buy you don't even know. And our bribe moto. And I would to me a man and the person will go to parliament. At the end of the day, a day and our expect is that happen. Nema a boama we interest low welfare a day disable our backing high on those things will never come. Because I keep telling people, say, one of the major challenges facing young people in this country has to do with the rent, accommodation. We have laws sitting in the books that says, you can't take an advance more than 6 months. But in Accra, you have to pay more than 2 years. All that we need to resolve this particular situation is a certain political will on the part of people we have entrusted power to say, hey, stop this going forward. This is what we're going to do. We are a young person now who person behind what year course for 6 months. That will bring relief to a lot of young people. But you have to gather money that you can hide in 2 good years. Ask yourself, where will you start from? Accra and Saturday and Unkra 15,000. The Obada, so hide down we are mattress in the mo. We didn't want to and chance in also now better. These are situations, these are bottlenecks. You expect people to go to parliament and remove these bottlenecks. Say, young people will have some economic freedom, some breathing space to be able to do things on their own. But these things we are not interested because nipa no bano. What on the amano? What on mano no? Also, I saw the obediga. I saw diga no attend a kanyam vaso. Now assign the big who send us 4 years or bow was about the top. That is the culture. We have monetized everything. That is why I keep telling people, say, we don't watch these things happening and we pretend to say we are victims. We are no victims. We are no victims. Wherever in the world where you find sustained bad governance, a theft regime like we have, now a very sustained for a very long time. Trust me, the people there are accomplices and sponsors, and you know. Yesterday, I watched quite an interesting video from a 58-year-old woman who happens to be a delegate. Now, I an interview, and she was very candid. Or say or no, the 12 and we are named Pinuka. Into honor there, one fasika mana on twaba. This is a woman or in the 50s. You expect saying, can you know when you know certain sober reflection, but ama on you know, no quan, the obedi. Namu obedjene. Community in the action, but as selfish and as greedy as we are, or no quabba pacoje, as the Canadian mana 5,000 winya, Sassicania the mana, but some may elson, Sani Pan because why you hear because quite of us are only cheap, no, or could be cheap, no, as young was seriously beam. And the problems now, you know, Yankopon cannot solve them because my catchers and Yankopon and solve Nipa Mundim Yansa problems. God is busy. So what say Ukraine and Russia for a contoka? Israel anyway, God is busy daily handling those issues. He has no time for fools. And consistently we've been demonstrating say, and when a backfire, now you're better now say we are victims. We are no victims. We are no victims. And within political parties, you know, there are no established rules are waiting they are careful some of these things because within political party, you know, party delegate, party leadership na nkasa ansa na manfo beba benya so manya national chairman no manya we no they bribe people to get there. Then say you national delegate conference, we saw what happened. TV, money, sharing all over. So national chairman now or no banner bribe in the way. So ask yourself, say, the moral conviction ben or no benya ko catch the MP semen bribe. The flag bearer elections na obi amana be lady political party no the flag bearer has to pay money, bribe people. So I know the flag bearer no pay asana delegate to amano. National executive of the political party no etuya ansana. So MP kwa kutuya obeda kokasa. So I know the day you will not see any concrete action from anybody say yeah take certain endless steps to deal with these things. And Sanyama work think it were you pay attention to no and they say a democracy. And then my development and also and then my hospitals and then as for because Nippon ban a preoccupation has to gather money. And this over here Mamuya Kosuya, baby Obia will be a gather money. Mr. We politics in free this is a rush hour for money. Everybody's a massive world. Nobody's thinking about building infrastructure. Nobody's thinking about how to renovate your first year dilapidated health infrastructure. Now, nobody is interested in providing certain safe haven for the young people. A man for multiple go school or minor subsidize your training or more to become nurses. Doctors are exiting the source of this country. I know the day, no, what do we get? So the country will continue to sink because is making money, trying to take advantage of the other guy. That's what we are doing. So the change we've been preaching, the change we've been talking about, must start with us. Because about say in the broad day, you see people sharing money. And other way, I cut across all political parties. And we've not been able to devise a strategy to end it. And now the perpetrators of these, your friends say, crimes, within our political setup, they don't do it in the dark anymore. And in a broad day, police station, I'm forced to be a and these people, Christopher, Sunday, them, hallelujah, deben. We are so corrupt and so filthy corrupt. That is who we are. And Tianra, what we saw, I'm sure that most of you are surprised. And it's a drawback. Our democracy, why wouldn't say, Sabi, you can say you're being in a womb. But Emma, quick one, one way I mean who has to do with the Adjoa Sarfo Ulusu the elections. And I think Senka, the people of Domeko bring also to our man and come home. Because you see, I keep telling people, the kind of relationship that must exist between people who have entrusted political power into their hands, and we the citizens on the floor, and they say, "Oh, ma will be a sika, men pity will be a," but mutual respect and intellectual kinship must exist. So let's say an MP has a genuine case traveling to the US for whatever reason. Nasa among for asking for questions. Wouldn't you make church mukrana? You don't come on social media like as if say nothing is happening, nothing has happened. When you have people entrusted their political will into your hands, no communication, you come on social media, you come on to, TikTok doing a whole lot of nasty stuff. And today she has the guts to go back to the people and say upon all the mess now, of course, they should still vote for her to become an MP. I think her voting her out happens to be a consolation that we can take from this. Actually, say, even though the whole process, but people are gradually, say we cannot allow ourselves to be taken for granted. Because the politics, the very moment you allow yourself to be saying take you for granted, you lose your leverage. Because citizens, your bargaining power, in a political setup. If you want to be relevant, you need to have a bargaining, certain bargaining advantage, a bargaining chip, and that bargaining chip, way. Once you lose it, once you make people realize, oh, it's cheap, you can take it, you lose your leverage, and forever you'll be taken for granted. That is exactly what is playing out in Kumasi. Because the people there have sold their thumb to the party Npp. So there is no motivation. I know that there is nothing to bargain for, because say, so there is no motivation, there is nothing I compel you to go and invest money, because I know this why investing money, but say yet to me, Emma, your bargaining power and you hold you on to. Na your money boy your dane. Na your money boy your dane, your money pardon whom our readiness and willingness to punish them, even though we belong to the same political party. Our readiness to punish them if they fail to deliver on the promises made to the people. They will begin to respect people. But until you'll be taken for granted and you lose your leverage, you become irrelevant in the democratic process. That is why very often you see a lot of crucial decisions happening around you. Involve nobody in their soliciting opinion. You don't even matter. Typical example, the case of the e-levy. You saw the kind of resistance Ghanaians mounted against the e-levy in this country. Everybody across the political divide, people even within your friends, various civil society organizations, everybody was saying, oh, looking at the economic trend, so buying crossing and how much more the ordinary person? You need to look at it again. The government decided to push that e-levy through our neck. Whether you like it or not, medeba, because the power no matters no, does the scope no does not include you, the voter, because you have no leverage, you have nothing to bring on the table, because on him say a do election, but for some now will be a do election, I'm a what do you need from me? Why do I have to waste my time going there to invest? That is what we need to do. Come to the table with a certain leverage. And yes, sir, we always go to the table as cannon folders. Cannon folder there, you can easily be disposed. Like a soldier sabi. You are disposable. That is so. We, the electorate, have become disposable in the hands of these greedy men who, by the twist of fate or whatever, are rising to political prominence. And the danger that comes with this excessive monetization of our political landscape, one danger, may assure say, and make it possible to push a lot of people on one case of agenda. Very greedy people, very vicious people, sometimes unwise people, sometimes fools, are able to drive their way through frontline politics. Because after all, it's not about wit, it's not about merit, it's not about intelligence, it's not about I have a message, I have campaigned to the people, I have the solution, I bet me solve your problems. No, it is about Misika mewo and a medeba and a medebe buy me way. Yes, substitute the element and the qualities of leadership with money and some material kindness if you will show you and a year to ediama. So if you do that, you end up arming some mercenaries, some goons, some unwise individuals, some greedy people with their own agenda. You sell power to them, and just imagine a fool having access to political power. Or the bedi winner. Whenever fools get access to power, they use the same power to terrorize their own people. So over the years, the experience we are going through, young kasanipa yakudi lies so to me maomo are using the same power to make our life hell for us and our team. And in the end, we turn and blame and we gave them the power to terrorize us, and they will continue to terrorize us. Because elections, we have decided not to invest wisdom, but rather we have invested emotions. We have invested tribal sentiment. We have invested ethnocentric supremacies and those kind of stuff. And I invested. But politics, why invest in Yansa? Now we invest in emotions. And now we invest in muscles. Always you lose. That is why today we have become losers in our own country. To the extent that people have to run away. Some people are living abroad. They have never even thought of ever coming back to Ghana because the health infrastructure now is so dilapidated. Outside. So just imagine living out there and you want to come and continue your life in Ghana. Ask yourself, recently you saw the videos, mortuary. You saw the videos. So, nobody is building this country or building the pocket because we are so greedy and we are so vicious. So, at the end of the day, turn it out this way. We have no reason to blame anybody Because we arm them, we incentivize them. Reason the number say will be a kawun to me as a mokuma, say what did you tune for that? No, I said, say, would to make issue, you know. It's a very delicate one. Because few years ago, this is a guy, your budget is wokumase. Odi amam for atam ne budget no so o ke kan kwasa asam ne budget no so na ye so no na chairman yo na chairman yo na cha din kwasa se be kwasa asam e wo wiase nyina wadi bia kwa akositia ene asante hen no so na odi aduru. So you begin to ask yourself about the sign and people like this enya access take it to frontline politics in Ghana, all because we have decided to monetize the entire political landscape. Yes, sell it to the highest bidder. But say sika anyway and a leadership position. That be a catcher and Joe Biden has no business becoming the president of the United States of America. Well, he onisika. I don't know what is and saying some allegation in about what they are going through. Say China for their finance or money as a forum. So it tells you it's not about who has money. Those with the cash, you know, sometimes they sit in the dark, write a check to sponsor people. They think they have the vision, they think they have way. So, and Jessica and the leader. But in the air, Kahon, Akoma power, and the Bia Mekase at the core. Leadership qualities in India, the Muya drew, I who here, and it's a Nipano, or you're empathetic, or empathy towards people. Or who nipa mo dream nipa ho. But people will entrust power into omo hands ewo krom ha no. Do they even care about the very people they even stay with? They don't. Intina sisi la dapa or no ni nkra okofo mo betena ni fie omo ne wia no, because she was not treating them good. Africa sa na yete when people rise to position of prominence like this as Sikano or no one himself even people close to them, they will not even help them. To the extent that these people have to steal such amount of money from her. And she foolishly went to a police station or a report. Now we will be as a minister of state. With me and to call police station, catch a police for say on China after me $1 million. This is a Obia or a buy more minister of state and I'm here than it team 30 years no, but ordinary Namkroma or a minister. $1 million and I made them go to police station and report to police for say at a call police station. Our catch almost say, my training petition me free, me buy me get my fat. Because despite a police station in Kokasa will be $1 million, or he's a businessman in a private enterprise. I don't know, Obia and Fahon. So Obini no was some bizarre, a financial intelligence when a baby sano. But as a public officer holding public office, as a minister of state, that is different. If you be like on one didn't sika, hey, what the politics I say? On one didn't sika. No, you on one didn't sika. $1 million in your room. You can't. And then US, even if you walk to a shop, now they need do $1 million, you do $10,000. Now the cash it here, some of the shops will not even take it. And so will be better crown now. You need to fill a form. Later, they will flag you and investigate. Why? $10,000 but $1 million it will minister them. And you have people, journalists on TV, people on radio, defending, singing hallelujah choruses, trying to justify these things because it's normal. That is the culture. You embed your home in. And until say we disentangle ourselves from this messy situation and break from the clutches of people who have vowed to enslave us on our own land, you know, we can never be free. We have a lot to do. We need to understand the concept of leadership very, very well and know who to entrust that power to. Because the enormity of political power is so great, it's so big, so heavy. So if you hand it over to a fool, trust me, or the I'm gonna boo. or the shares in Bubua or Dachina Bubu. We need to wake up. Now you sanitize your political space, you know. Now and look attractive for people. I said you meet me and boa. Because Nkasika and the other politics and Kwame Nkrumah to be made the president that because the guy won the election from prison. He was in jail. He was in jail. But he won. People voted for him. Why? Because a man for realizes so we tears at a branch si kasa na homa na ho fama. This is a guy you bet me rely. Nobody asks about the kind of houses I was see. Oba you know. A man for build estate for themselves, you know. He decided to build estate for this country. So that is why the concept of Tema Township came. So he built Tema for Ghana. He could have built it for himself. And then when people come to power, they will be a real estate or minisika or co-position or Hakofa. And Nkrumah built Tema Township as an industrial city for this country. All Bano, and Casano 5 houses are easily gone, and I'm a seaway, and I'm a way, and I'm a total cast way. No, leadership is a different thing altogether. And Nina started from her. But see, decided see a comedy and tenure and some anybody, and we exchange that power for money. And they are there, and we continue to suffer. And what baby now I've been saying, Yame be save you, oh, bodam, Yame be any baby, or be save baby, because my catchers in Yankopon, you're busy, or need time for fools, or you're busy, or the Indiana Maya, or the Yansa Namaya, or my free will to decide, make choices, and choices and never career to wherever you want to go. So, choice, you know, Okoton, now Jessica. What do call TV, 33-inch TV, 35-inch TV, 40-inch TV. Na grada simna pie after 1 week and as a for no ma. What that cheko MP no won to me enko tatar because what toy piaka. And it seems this is the kind of politics we are comfortable with. Politics, I consistently begging, throwing ourselves at the mercy of people in power. Always throwing ourselves at the mercy. The last time I was telling you, so we call MP now corner constituency no bias alive. MP me buy school fees. MP me yere nyam ya no operation. Cesarean section or da way was just a mekutia way. MP no onye magician out or tetia hane. Can't open sesame na dance cannot check. He's an officer of the state working. So when Q na mujina Diana be a pesican, how do you expect the person to get the money? I catch us away MP, Chroma, Udingra, weekend, over Tofundaka by 300. What constituency no be able to they want to take the money from the MP. So at the end of the day, these people shift focus from their core responsibility. The preoccupation is to make money because weekend, Oko constituency, people will come. So you see, say, and your back of one is a blemuno, and your MP no qua. That is a kind of political structure you're setting up. And your dinner idea, you know, and you will be an aquatina baby, a yana you're setting up, and I sir. We are corrupt and they are corrupt. So we are playing games. Chess game that you play. The only difference between ye and the omone say, or what is on a form, ye to me, you know. The very moment we get power, we may cry by your west and your more, you know. Or that is the concept. I weave that a template. And to change it, it must start from here. Begin to see politics as a different thing altogether. Because I'll be interested, say, Npp Palimentary, ako pere mpontujuma, ako ama Nippa asetinum, so we are at least basic health care and as for the one sabeka. But that isn't the case. I make us say, Hano, you have the 2 man for years or members from your media so metana so. I could father until I see me demo so. Or so like Nana, or an adrenaline or hen and OD, and they feel say they are not accountable to anybody. The open or sorry obey. They won't tell us because 2 million the whole war. We don't understand this whole thing because you're fat and you're too cheap, mama for. In his recent interview, a Kumfi chief's call and Hokobisa and said Argentina or Munya development, and he told them point blank, someone to Abama, Entina Mensumamo development. But a leader should not be talking like that. Obi Ayatwa Abama to represent people. You have no business throwing out such cheeky words. But he doesn't understand. He thinks his mandate is to say, so that culture of vindictiveness, and no one will carry around as a leader. Kumasi he went there, he told them the same thing. So to Kumasi, do when I was a one to Abamani because one year this is a precedent. But in a civilized, democratic environment where respect is mutual, such filthy utterances cannot come from a president. That he said it, people are comfortable. You even find some individuals in the media defending and justifying why the president should say so, because after all, it's very sad. So what happened over the weekend, is very shameful. And until say you be to address this delegate system, I be making sure say corruption yent been to us here crana, you minimize it. Now your man a high risk venture. That is the only way, because I catch you say by human nature we are greedy, we are very vicious, and always in the temptation to do the excesses in our. But we'll spell out the consequences to Nipa no who said they are soon so a bar, it will be very, very, very extensive. Or no other tenacity I've been home you know. But you open the floodgate and make it look like, oh, it's normal. They will normalize crime. They will normalize corruption. They will normalize bribing. That is why I bribing na uhuno. Yam fam kwase dan yachi first na yachi sika no school dem first na yakoche no asoro dem. Say no ye nche baby abi mu ye che no voting grounds. TV no ye to aba na TV no gu ho. Ye che bicycle. Ebirumu che laptop, ebirumu che sika. And ebirumu ye momo. In a broad day. So it's like a commercial grounds, like a bazaar of corruption. Bazaar market. I open and a yedidra. A grano your politics, you gana yedi. Of course, I call Makolana Ubiton Kuman Ubi Babato. That is the culture. So we need to think critically. Na yam fannim de ne nyansa ne adwen entoaba na emeye yakoma ne emotions. And I made be free hand, no. Listen to policies. Listen to Nipano. What they have promised to do. I said Nipano what the man na wanya. How willing are you to hold the person accountable? That is the magic wine they bit me as this whole politics. Akacha said we need to lead a new narrative about me boy. I mean we are sanitizing, I will define politics in our part of the world. And yes, sir, we are stick it to this nasty politics of greed, nasty politics of monetization. And you can buy your way and become whoever you want to become. No, we will continue to arm fools with power, and they will come back and terrorize us with the same power. Because a two are there more. Advanced democracy when I go jina bedroom some meche TV, meche moto, meche way, nipa jina what they your friends a bit moto nyom enijie ye chichesika telling the whole world say vote to know or tongue, and people are bold enough to grant interviews in the open and tell say me de sika no manjia or to a ban me to a ban man we are quite being human media as a median son to a man. This is happening in the political party. There is no whip system whipping anybody in line because me see the panel back whipping those people in line or no ban OTI and the videos are over. So the moral weight to pursue or go after or punish or to crack the whip on these people, no, you don't have it because what all they are now buying on their turn they are then a bit miaka. Oh, we need to, as people, sit up. We need to set up and look at this whole thing again. Now you who say what cotton or voter, what on future, and you have no right to complain. Absolutely.